Hello, and welcome to Journal and Jazz Chatty. If you prefer to journal with ambiance and less dialogue, I recommend checking out Journal and Jazz Chill, which I have up here. But this is Journal and Jazz Chatty, so let's have a conversation while we journal together. So, this is a very special Journal and Jazz because, as of now, we hit 100 subscribers of Journal and Jazz. Thank you so much. I was worried about announcing this out in this video because what if something happens and we're back down to 90? But regardless, I'm very grateful that Journal and Jazz has made it this far. I started this series in the beginning of the month, and I knew that it was going to be slow progress until we've really finally made quite a few videos. However, I am overwhelmed with gratitude and so much happiness. So I want to thank everyone who has supported and watched Journal and Jazz. Much appreciated. Now, I also wanted to thank everyone on Journal and Jazz Substack. I am so happy with all the kind comments and all of the messages that I've received on Substack. Journal and Jazz is Substack, and I'm just full of gratitude. So thank you so much for tuning in for Journal and Jazz YouTube and Journal and Jazz Substack, and I'm very happy. Oh, thank you so much. To celebrate the occasion, instead of green tea, I have made, it doesn't look that good, but I've made a matcha latte. I'm still trying to get down the milk and matcha ratio. What? Yeah, it's okay. I'm trying to get the milk matcha ratio down, but it is a celebration, so instead of green tea like we normally do, I made a matcha latte. Now, I wanted to have a little celebratory candle, but I don't have any other special candle, so I will be using, which I usually light in the mornings only, but the coffee and whiskey candle. Let's light that and let's begin. I am, like the last video, I'm gonna make multiple spreads because I don't think I can fit everything that you see here. But let's look at what we're working with. So, candy wrappers. Definitely I try to save these because a lot of these packagings are cute. I also have this pudding wrapper. I also have a lot of candy wrappers actually. Candy wrappers have really nice packaging, really cute. This one's the Korean gummies. Really like the look of that. I've seen a lot of business cards. Quite a few business cards here we're gonna work with. And went to a diner recently. They have this, I would say, coaster. I'll work with that. I don't know if I should say this, but I went to a Dunkin' Donuts recently. Amazing place. I also taken many different Polaroid photos. So, a lot we're gonna work with. Now, also, before I begin, recently, not recently, 2 days ago, I had a journal workshop with my bestest friend, Alma, and very, very kind Tara and Michaela from Craft Circle invited us to host a workshop with LV Craft Circle. And so I also wanted to make a thank you to everyone that showed up to our workshop. We did vision boards, we did bingo cards for the new year, and letters to ourselves, which I'll talk about during this Journal and Jazz Chatty. As much as I'd like to have Journal and Jazz to have a certain theme, today's theme isn't real. We won't really have a theme for Journal and Jazz for this episode, so we're gonna go off of the progress of January. Since January's ending, let's make this Journal and Jazz about January itself. We are approaching February, so let's begin. I was cleaning out my car and I found this here in the trunk. I didn't even know I've had this, so lots of beautiful stationery paper. Let's use some. A lot of my Polaroid photos are of friends, and a lot of those memories are very bright and colorful. So I'm going to pick out a background that expresses that feeling. Let's find one out. I like this. I have been very active this month in terms of getting my steps in, so let's use that. I think this is very pretty. We have a teal background here. Let's see what else we have. More people. Let's actually do a mix. Let's not have everything here. Let's see. I really like this green gingham pattern. Let's use some pink gingham as well. Lots of layout to work with. Let's begin. Let's fill this page. Thank goodness I have these giant little clips here, because the more that our journal gets thicker, the more we're gonna need those clips. I wanted to ask you, as my guest or viewer, how did your January go? Did you make any resolutions? Anything fun happen recently? I would say my January was pretty nice. I filled a lot of my days with creative projects. One of those projects is my watercolor paintings. So, a little bit of a background. Last year, actually the beginning of last year, for fun, I decided to paint everything that I ate, or everything beautiful that I would eat, such as if I went to a cafe and I got a dessert, I would paint that, because I do think that food plays a big part in a lot of our memories. Eating is the activity when we catch up with friends. Eating alone, like eating by myself. If I see what I ate, I remember the feeling. I think it's because eating, you use your sense, you use your taste, use your sight with the restaurant. So, and also I have an appreciation for desserts and lattes and very sweet treats that I wanted to paint it for myself. And so I recently made this little painting here for I made this painting here. It's Turon Filipino, not Turon. I'm so sorry. Lumpia. This is lumpia. Filipino spring roll. It's been nice to revisit that hobby again because, well, like most things, ever since I started to share a little bit of passion, I started becoming a little bit more strict with myself. I started to really paint with realism in mind. I try to, if it doesn't look the way that I want it to, I just don't pick it up. I used to paint for fun, and then I took it way too seriously because I suppose I wanted my paintings to look more realistic or more refined, that I forgot why I started that hobby. Was for fun, was for documenting the memory. And because of that, I've neglected painting. And it wasn't until recently when I had to paint that lumpia for a project, I realized, I forgot how fun this was. And even though I painted many different tries to get that look down, I remembered painting for fun and what that was like. And so this February, I want to start that again. I want to start my little food journal again. A passion that I started and neglected, I want to bring that back in January. Let's see, I'm gonna try to fold this. It's kind of interesting how our mind works, because it's like I would say I had a very productive January, but when I had to think about everything that I did, I didn't blank out, but it's like, why am I not remembering? Which is why it's great to write about it and to keep a planner. Oh yeah, this was the year I started my very first Hobonichi planner. If you know what the Hobonichi planners are, they're these Japanese planners that are, I know that there's like a 5-year one, there's also they have a different lines of planners. The one I have is the Hobonichi Cousin, and see, over the years, I have tried to use a planner like most people, and you ever get to that point where you consistently use it and then you just abandon it? I'm trying my hardest to not do that, and to actually use my planner every day. And even when there are days where not much happens on that day, I think it's very important to write down the food that you ate, things that you did, even when it's over, even if you are like, what I do is at the end of the day, if I don't look at my planner in the morning, I would write everything I did for that day in my planner. In a way, I'm using my planner as a place where I can remember everything. I remember that frightening feeling of not knowing what I ate 2 days ago. And dinners, breakfast, it can be very mundane. Sometimes we have very simple breakfast, but I was frightened that I couldn't remember what I ate 3 days ago. Now, if I have to think hard enough, I could remember, but I don't want to forget little details like that. So I've been using my planner as a way for me to remember everything mundane. While my journal here, it's more of a memory keeper. My visual journal, this is my creative expression. My Hobonichi planner is a safe space where I can record life, record what I ate, appointments, all of that. So now let's begin here. Let's use all of our things here. I think that flan wrapper would be very great with that gingham. It's a bit of a mess right now, but I assure you, keep in mind, I will have to say, Japanese packaging is usually very cute, especially with their snacks. This is the pudding that I ate. I did wash it, by the way. Now, that's why it's a little wrinkled here. Let's use that. On my Substack, when I posted one of my journal spreads, photos of my journal spreads, a lot of people talked about how I saved a little bit of the Jollibee wrapper that came with the Yum Burger. And yeah, this is what I mean. Save everything. Save everything that reminds you of that day. Save everything. Almost like an archivist, in a sense. I just do recommend everything. Nothing is more... There's something about having a tangible memory, because our journals are our lives in our hands. I recently read a piece on the New Yorker that talked about how we can live a longer life, and we can do that by not extending our life by adding more years, but we can extend our life through reverse, by adding more years through journaling and saving everything. Because in a way, when everything is past and days have passed and we forget a lot of these things, we have there's almost a sense of like a new life looking back at our pages. It's almost as if we added more years, if we wanted to, like that quote, live twice. Anais niyan. So yeah, I wonder, I ate these the same day. Yeah, let's do it. We'll make this a little wrapper page. I think what's great about Journal and Jazz is that not only am I able to be very consistent when it comes to journaling, but in a way, it's helping me talk a little bit better on camera. The more I do this, it's sometimes the best way to get better at something is to continuously doing it and trying to improve slightly better than before. I don't know if that made any sense. By doing more Journal and Jazz, it's helping me speak better. I'm not always the best when it comes to making my conversations flow or simply talking spontaneously. I'm someone that always has to think about what I'm about to say, just like right now. I'm trying to avoid a lot of ums. I think I remember in college when I took comm, usually ums are filler words. Try not to do that. Oh, this is very funny because this is when I went to the diner with Sydney. So I think let's use this. I wonder if this photo, yeah, it can't fit. That's okay. What if I, I want to make this in a, let's do something a little bit interactive. See, I have a great idea. So what we're gonna do is we're going to, oh, I wrote down the date here. I did this at January 11, 25. Let's actually write down that date right here so we don't forget what it was. So, with pen, let's write down a little bit of the date. Now, I don't like to journal in chronological order, so, but I think it's important that I know some of the dates. So let's glue that in right now. This makes for a very fun spread. Sometimes you just gotta... Actually, I want to use that one. So, you know what I should have done? I should have put this behind so I have space to write. Is there any way I can, might have to ruin this for a little bit. Let's see. Now there's one, I wouldn't say it's a misconception about journaling, but there's some journal, I would say that there's ways of journaling that has a name. I think a lot of my spreads could be considered junk journaling. It's when you essentially save a lot of packaging and receipts into one little journal. Very similar to a scrapbook. However, I think, I don't know, I don't like to put a name into journals. I think the journal is uniquely to you. Because everybody's journals are so different. Sometimes I have a little bit of writing. I would say maybe this is a visual journal, but I don't think there's a specific name. Now, this is wonderful. With a little bit of stickers there, it would be very nice. I have this little foldable here that I made. So I actually got one of these little guest checks. So I remember whenever I would go to a diner, especially the old diners in New York, sometimes your receipts would be in these old guest checks. And I love because it's such a classic design. I have a receipt here. I don't know, let's save that for a sticker, and let's save this spot to write something in it. However, I do think that something could be in this space right here. Let's see. Maybe that? I feel like it's too much of me in there. Let's move on to the next spread. I'm gonna save that for stickers. Now that it's the end of the month, one thing that came to mind that I did consistently was visit my local library. Or not just my local library, but libraries around my city. I think libraries are wonderful. And I remember one of my resolutions for the beginning of the year is to utilize the library for, a space for me to either paint or to journal in, because spending $8-9 a latte isn't always fun. And not only that, but libraries are very quiet. The resources are amazing. I was able to print over there. I was able to have a very quiet space to work with. And not only that, but you're supporting local, which is great, local resources. And yeah, I've been at the library a lot. What I usually do is I make my own matcha latte at home, put in a little thermos. Not very great matcha latte, but it's one that I saved a little bit of money on. And I would bring it over there and I would do my projects there. I would do a lot of my freelance work at a library. If I have to print anything, I can do that. And I think I have Libby, which I was able to read books. I was able to read ebooks from the library over there. And yeah, I love that. More libraries this year. I love the library. And I've been kind of going to different ones around my city. Some are great, some aren't. But library is an amazing place just for books and for movies and for a space to, work. Well, let's see what's next. But speaking of library and books, I am almost finishing reading Madonna in a Fur Coat. So I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a very beautiful book, almost as if I was reading someone's journal or diary. I wouldn't say that's a spoiler, but there is a journal, and we're essentially experiencing life through this man's journal, and it's very beautifully written. I feel a lot of some of the pain from the narrator, a lot of the frustration. It's just, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's a very beautiful book, and I'm almost done with it. And that would be my very first book that I finished in January. I am part of a book club, and I'm very excited because the next book we're going to be talking about is Convenience Store Woman, which I finished and I really enjoyed. So I always make these too short. Let's use this Dunkin'. So I've only had Dunkin' Donuts once in my life, and it was only the donuts. Then my friends told me about this $5 deal they had going on, where it's like a $5 meal. You get like a coffee, iced coffee, a pretty big one actually, and you get, 2 breakfast burritos. It's very delicious. Can't believe I slept on Dunkin' for a while. Not only that, but Sabrina Carpenter had her drink there that I was very excited to try. I like Sabrina Carpenter. Oh, this would look very nice. I don't think this would fit the entire thing. I wonder if I can maybe do that. And Yeah, let's do that. Very cute base. Now, I forgot. I have this little trash can up here. So this year, or not this year, this month, I watched a lot of, I would say I watched a lot of movies, or I wouldn't say a lot, but I've watched quite a few. I think a little, I can't remember when I watched, I think I watched The Last Showgirl this year, I think. Yeah, I think this year. I watched Interstellar for the first time with my friends. Crazy movie. I think I had to think a lot. Quite interesting movie. I would say I do like it. Very interesting. Let's see. So I actually wanted to add these little doily things again. This time, let's see if I can. I want to ask you, what are your favorite movies? And, you know, is your favorite movies tied to a specific memory? Or is your favorite movie because you like the visuals or the aesthetics? Or maybe you like this movie because of just the story? It's very nice. But what are your favorite movies? So a lot of my favorite movies, I like them because of the soundtrack and the ambiance and the how the movie makes me feel. One of my favorite movies is Breakfast at Tiffany's. I love everything about that movie except Mickey Mouse. However, it's a very beautiful movie, and I've loved that movie since college. The ambiance and the feel of the movie, the soundtrack and the jazz and Audrey Hepburn and the costumes of the film are so beautiful, and just the overall look of the films. And I love the story as well. I think the character of Holly is a very complicated character who wants better for herself, but she gets caught in her own, I don't know, I think she's a very complicated character. The only joy that she feels is when she visits Tiffany's, because in a way I think her visiting Tiffany's is a glimpse of another life, and I resonate a lot with Holly because I do have my own Tiffany's in a way, where a place in mind, very personal to me, that I look at, and in a way that's my own Tiffany's. And I think that Holly sees another life, and it's almost like aspiration. Another one of my favorite films is Marie Antoinette, the 2006. Now, the reason why I love that film so much, it's because the soundtrack, and it's a Sofia Coppola film, so of course it's visually beautiful. The colors and the shades of pink and teal and Kirsten Dunst's costumes, just such a gorgeous film. Let's see. So one thing I do is that I save these little chopstick wrappers, but I do keep a pen on me so I can write down the date. So I'm getting stumped a little. So these are actually the photos from the journal workshop that I've taken, but part of me wants to scan these first before I add them. So let's add on to, actually this one is a little, this little doily is special because I purposely spilled my coffee just to get a little bit of that sentimental value. Let's use that here. Let's not add that there. Let's add that right here. You can get tucked away in this little corner here. So I feel like a lot of my materials are in my coat that I left in my car. So what we'll do is if ever I have to add on to my journal, I will add that in later. Actually, let's add this little score tally right here. I do want to add Dunkin somewhere. Well, now that I cut it, it does say just Dunkin. Where should I add that in here? Actually, let's do something a little, and let's just write just you, because it is me. A little U. So you can still see the Dunkin part, but we don't necessarily have to use the whole wrapper. Oh, it's when I watch Interstellar. Oh, I have to add that. So I add that. I watched it here. Should I remove coffee bean? Yeah, let's remove coffee bean. Oh, I hope I don't rip it. Oh, it's stuck. We can't remove coffee bean. So let's see, maybe I can try to, yeah, this is like bounded. Oh, that's terrible. Well, at least the back is fine. However, you know what, let's cover that up somehow. Let's see. Now, I do have these vintage paper, so we're gonna do a little bit like a Rauschenberg type of collage. So let's add that in so we can get into the sticker decorating part. So my friend taught me this. So this is actually a napkin from the chicken tender place after the movie. After Interstellar with my friends. So what she told me to do is to cut the paper really thin. Now I'm nervous about, I don't want to break it. What I want to do, I want to rip the logo. So what you're going to do is you're going to glue this part. You're going to glue that part. Then paste that in. Suyeon, if you're watching this, I'm trying it out. No, there goes the bird. And, oh, that's nice. Just need some time to dry, but that's one way to do it. And I'm gonna add the movie ticket. It's gonna say chicken Yeah, we'll make this a little humorous. Let's add that there. Sometimes when I'm doing a spread, I actually won't really like it until I add the stickers. So I think when you add the stickers and the stamps and the washi tape, it almost is like the icing on top of a cake. So even though right now I may just be very about it, once we add in all of those little decorative elements, I'm sure I'll be a little bit more happy. Now I love this spread right now. I love this one. I think when we add in a little bit of the stickers, it'll look really good. But kind of want to add a Polaroid photo here. Let's see. Oh, then it would block the napkin. Whew. Okay. Oh, I think I really like this here. I really do like this picture. A little bit of words of encouragement for myself in this spread. So now we're at the decorating part. Okay, so before decorating, I knew that I wanted to add a little bit more for my journal because I don't think I saved nearly as much materials as much as I'd like to use. I think that was a tongue twister. I didn't save nearly as much as I'd like. So I went and, I went and used my little mini printer here, or my Fujifilm camera, to go print out some photos to kind of add more. So before we do decorating, I did print out quite a few more. So the workshop, this is a picture from the workshop from Friday, that I wanted to print out. That's me and there's Alma. That same day, I met up with my old friends who I used to work with, and we had Japanese breakfast. We woke up really early for that, and Sydney, and many adventures, many more food adventures that we would have. So, kind of want to paste that in somewhere here. So right before we decorate, I do want to add that in somewhere. I think I want to remove this picture of me here. Oh no. Thank goodness that didn't rip. I like that here. Now, let's begin decorating. See, I'm really excited about this spread right here. For this spread, let's add a lot of cutesy stickers. What I like about stickers is that there are no rules. Just stick away. I think I wanted to write in that spot. That's okay. So when it comes to stickers, there are no rules. Just sticking away. Since we are at a library, let's add these book sticker. right, I think we are set. So let's see. Here are the spreads that we made together. Okay, so that was Journal and Jazz. I think we did a lot of spreads. We had a little bit of conversation, but I think with the next Journal and Jazz Chatty, I'll do my best to kind of have a theme or to have like a structure or topic to talk about. I'll be sure to have a topic to talk about. But because it's the end of January, I wanted to have a little bit more of a discussion about January and a little bit of reflection. So a lot of these spreads talk about that, but we made a lot of beautiful spreads together. As always, thank you so much for tuning in and with this episode of Journal and Jazz. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you for Journal and Jazz Chill. Look how thick this journal is since January. Check this out. Anyways, bye bye. See you at Journal and Jazz Chill.